Yes, guys. Welcome to your Chelsea 2, Fulham 0 review. A game of set pieces, a game of VAR decisive decisions, and a total of 22 fouls. Yeah, we're gonna go through everything. The Joshua King is our goal, the corner goal, and the penalty. What I think of the Bassi handball. What was the Del Pedro handball? What did I think? Did I actually see it? Well, yeah, there's a lot to go through today. This will be a 6-minute review like I'm going to start doing, but we're going to go through everything. So let's start with how the game went. So we obviously started off the game. No, Sherlock, we actually took a kickoff. I know, right? So cool, right? 13 minutes in, Joshua King gets a goal. Now, in the build-up to that goal, Muniz did foul Chalobah. Now, my thoughts on this is that when you turn, right, you obviously have to put your leg somewhere. And where Chalobah's leg was where Muniz's foot went. So he kind of gets prodded, and then he kind of gets bars through the floor, Chalobah. Now, in my opinion, it's a foul, okay? I don't care if you're turning, right? I don't care. Chalobah played it smart by staying down there because that's to make VR instantly look at it and clear it or whatever. Since you're down, it's down fouled. And I think it's controversial. But I think it's a foul. And look, I'm glad it's not a yellow. But I do think there was enough in that foul, yeah. But I do feel like the barge was kind of hard. Kind of a really physical barge. I don't think it was necessarily the foot trodding. I think it's more of the barge to the ground and the power of it. Careless? No, that's not careless. I agree with that. It's not careless. Darren Fletcher was saying, and also Lucy Ward on TNT was saying, well, that's not really careless. You don't call that careless. Like, I understand why it got given as a foul, they said, but it's not careless. And look, we are at the end of the day, it's good and bad. And yeah. Later on in the second half, we got 2 corners at the end of the first half. The first one was really close. Then Enzo Fernandez on the second one, same side as the first. Now, you can say, well, they gave Chelsea the extra minute. It's called giving them play on. Like, it's like how certain teams, how certain games let it play on a little bit because of a set piece. We've seen that many times before in the Premier League. And look, you can cry about it, right? You can... it happens. But yeah, Enzo Fernandez whips it across. And Del Pedro, the guy who got heavily criticised this in terms of signing, right? I understand. He gets heavily criticised. But still... really nice goal, really nice corner, 1-0 Chelsea. We go into the second half, and we get a penalty, a handball. Now, in my opinion, the first one on Del Pedro, I do believe it's proximity, because it was all compact, it hit the hand, and then it kind of bounced back out to Chalobah. Chalobah was a bit of a distance away from Bassi, and his hand was unnaturally out, right? So it hit the hand. Penalty, right? I agree, that's a pen. But I love an explanation. Look, even as a Chelsea fan, I love an explanation on the first one, but I do believe it's proximity. But yeah, or it wasn't as obvious. Proximity or wasn't as obvious of a handball. Enzo Fernandez got home to make it 2-0. We sub on Santos. We sub on Reece James. We sub on Gittins. George comes on for Delap, who got injured in the first half, hamstring. Then he comes on in the 60th. We saw Santos, we saw Reece. Apparently Caicedo went down a bit in the final few minutes of the game. But yeah, overall, it's not the best performance. Okay? I will be honest, I think the second half was 5 times better than the first. And that's just me being honest. I don't want to be heavily critical, or I don't want to be heavily positive. It wasn't the best. And I do think the physical and the fatigue standards so far, it's because of the Club World Cup. And look, you can have your own opinions on it, but I do think the Club World Cup is good if you schedule it correctly. If there's no international break at the beginning of June, then we could have had it start on the 1st of June, end on the 1st of July. But still gives them nearly 4 whole weeks to go. Okay, calmer. We can give the players 4 weeks off. Well, they'll be back even better. Heck, we could even start it earlier, and we could still give them more than 4 weeks off. But yeah, 2 wins out of 3, 1 draw, 2 wins. Pedro with another goal, and I am really excited for next week. International break. I will be cooking up some really good content for the international break. I think I will be doing some more A-League type content. I will be doing more non-league content, because that will still be running. I might delve into League 1, League 2. I might just delve into Premier League in general. I might even do some England reviews again. But yeah, really, really positive performance second half. And yeah, we got into Brentford on the 13th of September. There will be 2 videos today, this one, and then you're going to be having a Champions League fixture reaction video. Now, I know I didn't do this last night, but come on, there was too much out yesterday, so yeah, it's going to be out today. Be there for it. Like, subscribe, turn on post notifications, and peace.